Welcome to the Idiot Box. This is Rings of Power Episode 2. The episode starts with Nori standing at the crater looking at the man passed out in the center. She notices that the flames are not hot and goes closer to the man. As Nori gets closer, the man grabs her and shouts. The flames surrounding them die, and the man passes out again, and flames reignite. Nori coerces her friend Poppy into carrying the man on a wheelbarrow, and there is a funny scene as the girls chase after the barrow when it slides down a slope. The girls tuck the man under a tree, and Nori thinks it's her duty to keep him safe. Now we go to Arondir and Bronwyn. The duo look for clues at the abandoned village. They come across an underground passage. Arondir asks Bronwyn to go to her village and warn the people. He then jumps into the tunnel. Next we travel to Eregion. Man, there's just too many people in this show. Elrond is settling into his new gig working for Celebrimbor, one that allows him to fanboy out upon seeing the hammer of Fëanor, the great smith who made powerful artifacts called the Silmarils. Celebrimbor plans to create a tower that can host a forge more powerful than any ever built, but the task requires a lot of manual labor, and the elves just don't have the numbers. Elrond suggests something.
Have you considered seeking partners outside the confines of our own race?
The elves take a trip to Khazad-dûm where the dwarves reside, but they are denied entry. Elrond, left with no choice, invoke a right that compels them to let him into their underground mining kingdom. He meets with his old friend Durin, who is very pissed at the elf. Durin forces Elrond into a rock-breaking contest, and losing it will cause banishment. In the morning, Nori goes to check up on her new friend. The stranger is drawing glyphs on a rock and shouts as he sees Nori. His shout summons whirlwinds, but Nori manages to calm him down and feed him. He draws again in runes which Nori can't understand. The stranger's actions causes asynchronous effects in the Harfoot village, even causing Nori's father, Largo, to snap his ankle as the stranger snaps the stick he's using to draw. Poppy comes to inform Nori of his father's accident. Nori goes to examine the wound. The village leader asks if he'll be able to travel in the seas. After jumping from the boat, Galadriel swims in the endless ocean searching for shore. She comes across a bunch of shipwrecked survivors. The acquaintance is short-lived as a sea monster kills most of them. Only Galadriel and a young man named Halbrand survives. Back in the Dwarven city, the competition rages on as Durin and Elrond breaks rocks after rocks. Elrond gives a tough competition but ultimately concedes. Durin escorts him out and tells he is angry because Elrond didn't come for his wedding and never met his kids.
20 years may be the blink of an eye to an elf, but I've lived an entire life in that time. A life you missed!
Humbled by Durin's outburst, Elrond asks his forgiveness and asks to apologize to his family as well. Elrond meets with Disa, Durin's wife, who helps patch things up between the two estranged friends. Back at the sea, Halbrand tells Galadriel he was chased away from his home by orcs and tells he is from Southlands. In the Southlands, Bronwyn reaches the village and asks the villagers to evacuate, but no one listens. At her home, Theo is frustrated by the noise coming from the floorboard, assuming it's rats. He starts banging and breaks a chunk of floor. It turns out something much more sinister lurks in the ground. In the tunnels, Arondir is investigating where the underground passage leads. He comes across claw marks on the walls and listens as something fast approaches. Arondir quickly squeezes out of the tunnel. He draws his dagger and this happens. With Arondir's fate unknown, we see Bronwyn running towards her home, only to find it ransacked and a big hole in the ground. Fearing the worst, she calls for Theo and finds him hidden in the wall. Theo asks her to get help as they hear noise coming from the hole, but not wanting to leave her son alone, she hides in the cupboard. An orc comes out of the hole and searches the room and finds Bronwyn. Theo stabs the orc, and after a skirmish, they are able to kill it. Bronwyn takes the head of the orc to the villagers as a proof to tell them it's time to get the hell out of Dodge. Galadriel and Halbrand are trapped in a storm. Galadriel falls from the platform and dies. just kidding. Halbrand jumps in the water to save her, and they both hold on for dear life. In the Harfoot village, Nori and Poppy goes to meet the stranger. The stranger manipulates some fireflies into the shape of star constellations, a clue we are meant to store away for later. Then all the fireflies die. Huh, that's a bad sign. You guys should run for your lives. In the dwarven mines, Durin meets his father, King Durin III, and they discuss about their own secret, a chest full of some glowing substance. Theo discovers that the sword he found completes itself after absorbing blood, and we see the whole town marching towards the Elven Tower. In the sea, Galadriel and Halbrand survive the storm and are picked up by a ship. Thank you for watching. Like, share, and subscribe for more movies and show-related content.